Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going on a bit of a different journey, I think, way back, thousands of years, to look at some really ancient wisdom.
Yeah, forget the usual research papers for today.
Exactly. We're looking at these, well, profound verses. They come from an ancient text, the seven Sattana-nipāto, that means seven collections, apparently. Pretty comprehensive stuff.
And specifically, we're diving into the Theragāthā. That's the verses of the elder monks, so we're hearing directly from them.
Right, their own words. And our mission really is to unpack these accounts. They're super personal, sometimes really surprising.
Definitely surprising. We want to pull out those, nuggets of knowledge about human nature, wisdom, liberation.
Yeah.
Straight from their own experiences.
And you'll see how relevant, how timeless these stories still feel.
They really do.
So let's kick off with Elder Sundarasamuddo. There's this fascinating encounter he describes.
Ah, yes. This one's quite vivid.
So picture this. He's a young monk doing his thing, and he's approached by a woman. The text is so detailed. Adorned, beautifully dressed, wearing garlands, decorated.
With feet stained red, with lac, wearing sandals. Really paints a picture.
It does. But what's interesting is how she approaches. Super respectful. Takes off her sandals, palms joined, speaks softly, gently, even smiles.
Which makes what she says next even more jarring, maybe.
Totally. Because after this gentle approach, she hits him with this offer.
A pretty audacious one. She says, "You are young and have gone forth. Stay within my teaching. Enjoy human sensual pleasures. I will give you wealth."
And then the kicker, "I promise you truly, or I will bring you fire."
Wow. Talk about an ultimatum.
Yeah, quite the swing from the gentle approach.
Yeah.
But it's delivered, with that smile. It's sort of insidious.
And she's not just thinking short term either. She lays out this whole future plan.
Right, the long game. When we are both old, leaning on staffs, both of us will go forth. Basically saying, you can have it all now and get the spiritual life later. We'll grasp both worlds, as she puts it.
It's such a tempting compromise, isn't it? The best of both worlds, seemingly.
But this is where Sundarasamuddo's insight just cuts right through it.
Exactly. Despite the beauty, the respectful approach, the seemingly reasonable offer, he sees it differently.
He sees her as like a noose of death spread out.
That phrase, noose of death, it's so powerful. It just cuts through the surface allure, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It shows he understood the true nature of that temptation, that it wasn't freedom, it was, well, a trap, binding.
And his own choice, his own delight is such a stark contrast. He mentions how others delight in musical instruments. The text even lists them. Mutiagtehi pachavika.
Gives you that ancient world flavor.
Yeah, but he delights at the root of a tree in the Buddhist teaching, a completely different source of joy.
And this leads to something really profound. He talks about a boon, a wish he'd ask from the Buddha.
And it's not for himself, which is telling.
Not at all. He'd choose, get this, constant mindfulness of the body for the whole world.
Wow, just think about that. Not just for him, for everyone.
What does that tell you about his understanding? It's like he saw this deep, constant awareness as the fundamental key to freedom from this kind of suffering for all beings.
It really elevates it beyond just his personal struggle. It's a universal insight.
So, for you listening, maybe think about that. How do those ancient temptations, maybe not a courtesan, but wealth, pleasure, the lure of an easy life,
Yeah.
how do they show up today?
Yeah, the forms change, but maybe the underlying pull is similar. That idea of the noose of death hidden in something attractive, it's worth reflecting on.
And that wish for constant mindfulness. Powerful stuff.
Which kind of leads us nicely into the next insight, moving from, say, external temptation to how we actually perceive things.
Elder Lakuṇṭako, his ideas on perception are really sharp.
Very sharp. He basically says, look, if you're just judging by appearances or by what you hear, you're missing the point.
He puts it bluntly. Those who perceive me by form and those who follow by voice, enslaved by desire and passion, those people do not know me.
So surface level stuff looks, if that's all you grasp, you don't really understand.
And he breaks it down
Yeah.
into like 3 levels of understanding or misunderstanding.
Yeah. First, there's the fool.
Okay.
This person, he says, does not know himself inwardly and does not see outwardly. They're just lost. Surrounded by all-sided obstruction, he is indeed carried away by sound.
So, totally unaware inside and out. Just swept along by noise.
Pretty much. But then there's a second level, which is interesting.
Okay.
This is someone who does not know himself inwardly, but sees outwardly. So they can observe things externally, see the results or facts.
Right, they're not totally oblivious to the outside world.
Exactly. But because they lack that inner self-knowledge, he too is carried away by sound.
Ah, so just seeing the facts isn't enough protection.
Apparently not, according to Lakuṇṭako. Without that inner grounding, you're still susceptible to being swayed by the loudest voice, the most appealing narrative, whatever sound is dominant.
That feels incredibly relevant today.
Doesn't it? Information overload, social media, it's easy to see outwardly but still be carried away by sound.
So what's the ideal then?
The ideal is the third person, he who knows himself inwardly and sees outwardly, a seer without obstruction.
He's not carried away by sound. Okay, clarity, inside and out.
That's the goal. That deep inner knowing combined with clear external perception. That person isn't easily manipulated or confused by the noise.
It's a fascinating framework. It really makes you think about, well, how do you process information? How much is based on that inner knowing versus just the external sound?
What does it even mean to know oneself inwardly in that deep way? It's a challenge.
Definitely something to ponder. And speaking of, well, profound understanding arriving in perhaps unexpected ways. Get ready for these next stories.
Ah, the young monks. These are quite astonishing.
Right. Bhaddo and Sopāko. They achieved liberation incredibly young. Let's start with Bhaddo.
His backstory is quite touching. He was an only son, beloved by mother and father, obtained through many vows and supplications. A really cherished child.
Difficult to obtain, delicate, raised in comfort, and yet his parents offer him to the Buddha as an attendant. That's quite an act of faith.
It really is. And the Buddha seems to recognize his potential immediately. He tells Ananda, ordain him quickly, he will be a noble steed.
A noble steed. Wow, high praise. And the awakening is fast.
Incredibly fast. Bhaddo says, before the sun had risen, then my mind was liberated. Just like that.
Before sunrise. And his higher ordination, it wasn't a typical ceremony.
No, the Buddha himself confirmed it. He just came out of his seclusion, called him, come, Bhaddo.
And Bhaddo says, that was my higher ordination, direct recognition.
And how old is he?
7. At 7 years of age, I received higher ordination, and he'd attained the 3 knowledges.
Deep, deep spiritual insight at age 7. Past lives, karma, liberation.
His reaction says it all. Oh, how well taught is the Dhamma. Just pure appreciation for the teaching that made it possible.
Amazing. And Sopāko's story is just as remarkable.
Yeah, he describes seeing the Buddha walking near a palace and just going up to him.
Fearlessly. He says, the teacher questioned me, unwavering and fearless, I explained to the teacher. Imagine that confidence in a child meeting the Buddha.
Incredible. And the Buddha clearly saw something special, too.
Oh, absolutely. He praised him publicly. Fortunate are the Angas and Magadhas, basically the regions, for whom he enjoys robes, alms food, lodging, and reverence. It's a huge endorsement.
A public declaration, and again, the higher ordination was direct.
The Buddha just said, from today onward, Sopāko, come to see me. This shall be your higher ordination. Simple, direct, powerful.
And Sopāko's age.
Also 7. At 7 years of age, I received higher ordination.
And his claim, I hold the last body, meaning no more rebirth, complete liberation.
Just staggering. And he echoes Bhaddo, oh, how well taught is the Dhamma?
These stories just blow away our usual ideas about age and capability, don't they?
Completely. They speak volumes about human potential, about commitment, about the sheer power of the right teaching hitting receptive ground, no matter the age.
It suggests that readiness for this path isn't necessarily about years lived, but maybe about some kind of inner maturity or karmic ripening.
Could be. It certainly shows the Dhamma itself is potent, accessible to those who are truly open, regardless of background or age.
Okay, let's shift to our final elder for this dive, Sarabhaṅgo. His name itself tells a story.
Right. Sarabhaṅgo, he explains it. I broke arrows with my hands and built a hut. Therefore, Sarabhaṅgo was my name by convention.
Sounds quite forceful, maybe even aggressive, breaking arrows with his hands.
Seems like it. But then he declares this profound shift. It is not fitting for me today to break arrows with my hands, for precepts have been laid down by the glorious Gautama.
So he's consciously abandoning that old identity, that old way of being, because of the Buddha's teaching.
Exactly. It's a real transformation. And he links this to understanding suffering more deeply.
He says something like, he hadn't seen the whole complete disease before.
Yeah, Sarabhaṅgo had not seen the whole complete disease before. That disease is now seen through the one who speaks the words of the Exalted One. The teaching revealed the true nature of suffering to him.
So it wasn't about physically breaking arrows anymore, but understanding the root cause of suffering itself.
Precisely. And he connects this understanding to a whole lineage of Buddhas.
All right, he lists them, Vipassi, Sikhi, Vasabhu, all the way to Gautama.
Kakusanda, Kogamana, Kassapa. Yeah, 7 Buddhas, including Gautama. He emphasizes they all walk the same path.
Describing them as free from craving without clinging, those who have destroyed defilements by whom this Dhamma was taught.
Being Dhamma beings. It shows this path isn't unique to Gautama. It's a timeless truth rediscovered by enlightened beings across ages.
And the core of that teaching.
4 noble truths. He reiterates them. Taught out of compassion for living beings. Suffering, its origin, the path to its cessation, and the cessation of suffering.
The absolute bedrock. Still relevant.
Always. And Sarabhaṅgo's final statement, it's incredibly powerful.
Yeah, the declaration of freedom.
Where suffering is born in this endless cycle of existence, with the breaking of this body and the ceasing of life, there is no further rebirth.
I am well and truly liberated in every way. Just complete, total freedom. Wow.
It's the culmination of that path.
Yeah.
From breaking arrows physically to breaking the bonds of existence entirely.
So maybe for you listening, think about what breaking arrows might mean in your life.
Yeah, what old patterns, habits, identities maybe need to be let go of? What arrows are you still breaking, perhaps unnecessarily?
And how can these ancient truths, this framework of the 4 Noble Truths passed down through millennia, help you understand your own challenges today?
It offers a map, doesn't it, for navigating suffering.
It really does. What a journey this has been.
Really covered some ground.
From Sundarasamuddo, facing that incredibly alluring temptation and choosing mindfulness.
To Lakuṇṭako, showing us the difference between surface perception and true inner knowing.
And then those mind-blowing stories of Bhaddo and Sopāko 7 years old, reaching liberation.
Yeah, challenging all our assumptions about age and potential.
All leading up to Sarabhaṅgo, letting go of his old identity, understanding the lineage of Buddhas, and declaring that ultimate freedom.
These verses, these nuggets from the Theragāthā, they're ancient, sure, but the insights feel incredibly fresh and relevant.
They really are timeless blueprints for understanding ourselves and navigating, well, life.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up, here's something to maybe carry with you. How do these ancient journeys, these monks seeking freedom thousands of years ago, how do they speak to your own search for meaning, for freedom right now?
In our very different modern world, yet maybe fundamentally similar struggle.
Exactly. What's your noose of death, that subtle thing that might be holding you back? And what's your path toward becoming, like Lakuṇṭako described, unswayed by sound?
Lots to think about there.